To show conditional formatting, I'm going to just make up some heights for men and women. You can see here, these are supposed to be in inches. I've given an average and standard deviation. The averages are coming from recent source in Wikipedia. Standard deviations are probably about right from my own explorations years ago. So I've just got this random, so I'm just going to hit F9 to show that the numbers are going to change. So if I do something, the numbers all change. So 70 inches would be 5'10", 67.3 would be 5'7", and a little bit. 72 is what it takes in order to be 6 foot. 58 inches would be 4'10", for example. So I've got these, and many people would say conditional heights. Let's just take these. I'm going to look at, say, who are the tallest 3 men, and I want to be able to see who they are. And so I do that, and then I can scroll through and see some as it changes. It's going to be a different observation in there and the different heights every single time, but you can see about what it's going to take in order to be in that group. I could do this for the women, and now I'm going to, just for make it different, all those that are, let's say, greater than the average that I put in, and I'll change this to a yellow fill. Okay, so about half are going to be yellow every time, and you see when that occurs that you've got they're above 64. Okay, so you can see that this conditional type of formatting works. I've got greater thans, I've got equal tos, all that type of stuff. Now I like to be able to mix things up a little bit, so I'm going to put, say, a number here, and it's going to be 3 inches, and I'm going to use these pairings. So I'm going to grab these, I'm going to clear the current rules, and I'm going to make a new rule. I'm going to make a new rule based on an if statement. So equals if B4 is greater than C4 plus D1. That means if the man's height is more than 3 inches bigger than the woman's height, I want it to do something. Otherwise not. 1 to make it do something, 0 to make it not. So I'm using the if statement to force it to do that. So it'll only do it if the man is more than 3 inches taller than the woman. If you look here at the dollar signs, it's going to actually take that all the way down. I want it to every time use a different number, the observation for this group. So it's always going to go B and then C and D1. But when it gets down to B9 and B11, it'll use that. So format, I want it to do this, and then let's make it green. Say the background color is going to be green in all these circumstances. So I do OK. And so if the man is more than 3 inches taller than the woman, it's going to show it up. See this, not a very big gap, and here the man's actually smaller than the woman. Looking around, you can see that it happens pretty regularly that it's 3 inches, and so a lot of those are green every time it's more than 3 inches. I can change this to 2, and then I'm going to end up green unless that there's something that happens here. I've got some relatively small men and some tall women at the same time. And here almost all of them except for one guy shorter than the girl. So this conditional formatting, I'm going to make a new rule. I'm going to clear this rule, and let's make a new rule. And let's say equals if, so that it's going to work on this. If B4, oops, let's do some. B4 if that is greater than, well, let's see, an average would be 2 at 5'6" would be 66. Times that by 2, I'm looking at like 132. So if the two of them combine to be an average height of 136 or greater, then 1, otherwise 0. And do format, and let's make it purple. Okay. So if the 2 and I have the B and the C, so that every time when I go over to the C column, it's evaluating B and C, not C and D. And I'm letting the 4 roll every single time. Oops. So if the average height is more than 132 inches, sorry, the sum is more than 132 or the average less than 130, it's shown in purple. This is a really easy way of showing the data that you're interested in. How tall they are, differences, any kind of differences, biggest ones, smallest ones, anything like that is always going to show up and be of real value.